Hi everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. This is Marcello. Today is May 28th, 2014. I'm going to do today what I've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets and evaluation of our biases, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Time close of our daily bars. Why do we do that? We do that because we find that it gives us a higher probability of success from a swing trading perspective. We're going to talk about how it works, go into a daily market analysis, and talk about trades that we have taken recently that will be relevant in the near future as well. So our formula for success: do our 5 p.m. market analysis to determine the bias. What is the bias? Bias is the probability that price will either go up, go down, or will oscillate between 2 points, and we call that a consolidation bias. Now, how do we use that? We have two means to execute those trades based upon the bias. One, we take a set and forget it trade. That means we determine our entry, our stop loss, and our take profit right after we determine the bias, and we let it run until the next day at about the same time, completely low stress and certainly hands off. The second approach is to day trade in the direction of our bias using pods for bigger profits. Now, if you don't know what a pod is, go to tribeforex.com. We have a free trading course there, and we also have resident professionals, traders, who will answer that question for you in the community. We also have a day trading room Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 to 3 a.m. Eastern Time, and then again at 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time during the London and the New York markets, respectively. Okay, so having said that, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. So let's start with the euro dollar. So the euro dollar, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I told you that the euro was going to drop. And basically, if we look at this weekly chart, we can see this Bollinger was right there on it. Our Bollinger Band was at 140.12 and price went to 139.92, so about 20 pips away. On the weekly, that is extremely accurate, and we get to see how support and resistance really played in on this move. And you can see that we're in our fourth move down, and we're actually approaching this 135.60 area. Okay, that 135.60 area is going to be important to us because we have the 50 EMA on the weekly there, and I think there's going to be some price action there. So look out for that. Let's look at the daily and see what's going on. We just passed the Bollinger here, the Bollinger lower band here on the euro dollar daily chart. So when we get down to this purple line, which is 135.63, look for some play, look for some price action in that area. That's where we're going to be looking to see some. Also, you know, I think we're going to look to see as well. Let's see if Fibonacci's come into play here. All right, so Fibonacci, we do have a Fibonacci 23.6 fib area that's in that vicinity, right around the 35.50 area as well. Let's see, it's about 35.36, so I'd say about 35.50 is a good place to be looking for a retracement in the market, some form of a bounce here from the euro dollar. So we do have a sell bias. We're going to look for a sell through the 50 EMA or at the 50 EMA and potentially look for a bounce there. So we've got a sell bias with a potential bounce at 135.63. All right, dollar Swiss, we've just hit the 200 EMA. We're approaching the 89, about 9000, 0.9000 on the Bollinger Band. Here on the dollar Swiss, this is a good place to be looking for a retracement, a sell here. I'm going to go ahead and add this. This is actually perfect. Look at that. So drawing from swing high to swing high, what we have is a nice point for us to consider. It is 0.9003, and that's where we could most likely look for price to push to. Number one, it's a double zeros, also at the Bollinger Bands. I'm going to look for a sell off at 0.9003. Now, we do have a buy bias on the dollar Swiss overall. I do think there's going to be opportunities there in the short term on the basically at that trend line at 0.900. We also have a 50 EMA that shows itself, that's showing itself at 0.9024, and that should be given consideration as well. So let me go ahead and add that there. And we can find that on the weekly chart. And on the monthly, there are no relevant areas of support and resistance for us to consider at this moment. And so that pretty much does it, guys. So I'm going to look for a buy on the dollar Swiss up to 0.9000 or in that vicinity. I'll give a 20 pip buffer either way, and then look for some form of retracement from there. Okay, so we called it on this pound dollar. I said the best place to get in was right here at 1.6900. That was a very, very nice place for us to get in. 200 pip drop from that point. You know, the market is finally giving us, you know, movement in exactly the way that we thought it would. It took its time, but you know, we've definitely gotten it there. So that's what we're looking for here. This is what we've got. I think I would like to keep that right around here. Okay. All right, great. So we do have quite a bit of opportunity here on the pound dollar, and when the pound moves hard. So as I said before, we were at 1.6900. I see an opportunity for us to get back down into the 15500 area, 15600 area, and that is a tremendous amount of potential profitability. Now is not a bad time to get in. When I told you 200 pips ago, was a great time for you to get in and hold on to that trade and watch it drop. So there's no area of support and resistance for us to look at in the monthly besides the 169.50 areas where we drew our area of support of resistance. Sorry, nothing to look at in the weekly. We don't have anything until we get down to 165.50. So we're not going to draw that in for the time being. Now on the daily though, we did stop at a mid Bollinger Band, which is at 1.6706. We're kind of hovering at that area. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening here. We also have an area of support and resistance. There's quite a bit going on here. We've kind of passed right through it. All right, I'm going to kind of go through these very quickly, guys. We're in an area of support. I think that price is going to move back up here on this pound dollar. We could have price drop here, but we don't have. Price basically closed above that area, just barely. I think that there's a lot of play that we can get. Maybe we'll get a drop off of 167.34. I'd like to see it go back up to 167.65, so maybe 60 pip play here on the pound dollar for the time being. Not really. You know, I got to see what price does at this area. You know, it's below the trend line here. It's above the Bollinger here. So we could see, it's kind of ambiguous for me at this point. I do think there's going to be a bit of a retracement. I would be looking for another area of support here, but I don't quite see one. Yeah, I think at 167.00 is right where we'd be looking for. All right, so I'm going to be looking for, I'm not going to call a pound dollar today. Overall bias is a sell. I think there's a chance for a retracement off that mid Bollinger Band just to take a break, take a rest here. Okay, having said that, dollar yen is in consolidation still. 4 bars in consolidation. I'm going to look for consolidation bias here. Going to look for a buy off of these areas, off these levels that we're at right now. 101.50. Going to look for it to get back up to 102.00, 102.10. That's the dollar yen. Same thing as far as the Aussie dollar is concerned. We are in consolidation here. I think the overall bias on the Aussie dollar is going to be a sell. This is actually a beautiful trend line. If we ever get back up to it, it'd be a great place for us to take a sell off of. Depends on what the market sentiment is. We are below the 50 MA on the weekly, though. That looks good. If we can get past this lower area of support here, or this swing low here at 0.9201, 9200, I think that we've got a clear shot to drop here on the Aussie dollar. There's not an awful lot of support here to look for on the Aussie dollar once we pass these areas. There's obviously on the daily there's going to be 91.84, which is the Bollinger Band. So for the time being, I've got to call a, it's still in consolidation, so I'm calling a consolidation bias on the Aussie dollar. Euro yen, I'm going to call a sell here, close below the lower Bollinger Band. I think it can go down to and will reach down to 137.95, which is not that far away. We could get a bounce off of that for a little bit of a consolidation or a little pullback here on the euro yen. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to look for a push down to the 200 EMA and then a move back up. So I've got a sell here on the euro yen. Pound yen, consolidation again. We did push down. I'm going to be looking for the very same thing as I discussed before. Going to get through this quickly. And you can see here that we do have swing lows to look at. And the swing lows put us at a support area at 169.40. So look for price to move down to 169.40 and then potentially get a bounce off of that area. That is something to consider. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar is definitely below areas of support. Looking at the weekly and the monthly. Yeah, we definitely look like a sell here on the New Zealand dollar. Nice opportunity for a sell on the New Zealand dollar. See if there are horizontal areas of support and resistance for us to consider. Yep, there are. I would say at 84.36. So if price makes its way down to 84.36, that would be an area of support. And that's all we've got as far as upper areas of support and resistance there. A dollar CAD consolidation bias. I think it's going to move up tomorrow. And that'll do it, guys. So that's it for our week. I would say that we're going to sell off on the euro dollar until the areas of support. Dollar Swiss we're going to buy until the areas of resistance here that we've discussed. Pound dollar we're going to be looking for well, I said I didn't want to call the bias, but I think we're going to sell for a bit off of it. Dollar yen's consolidation, Aussie dollar is consolidation, euro yen is a sell down to the 200 EMA, pound yen is going to be a sell down to the lower trend line that I've just shown you here at 169.40. New Zealand dollar is a sell, and the dollar CAD is consolidation. With that, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for another edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour.